Welcome to my presentation, dear spectators. I've been preparing a program for my residents for the last 3 weeks. Why? Since a person's home is essentially the area that makes them feel safe and comfortable. Everyone in this world dreams of having the ideal residence. A brighter parking and security system. Though it sounds like a simple and basic program, this definitely will solve the main problem in my residence area. Did you know that neighbors between neighbors could easily have a quarrel due to the lack of parking area that would disturb other residents' comfort? I'll begin by explaining the current situation. Insufficient parking spaces. Generally, people park their cars inside their private garage or driveway. But in my residence, some houses don't even have a garage or not enough wide garages for their vehicles. Moreover, there are some business places in my residential area, such as course places and boarding houses. They definitely need more space for their guests and clients. This causes some people to park their vehicles at the border of the roadway. Usually, the roadway becomes narrow and quite often obstructs other houses' entrances. Second issue is security. Every resident is detailed with gates and padlocks and keys due to security. The problem is that boarding houses occupants do not have the key. These problems could easily unsettle both the neighborhood and the guests. Now, let me explain the current parking situation. One house is only allowed to park one car outside a private driveway or garage. To ensure that the roadway doesn't get too narrow, the policy only allows cars to be parked on the right side of the road. But still, in order to not obstruct other houses' entrances, not all the way down the roadway could be filled with cars. Of course, bikes and motorcycles are not allowed to be parked outside due to security reasons. So, here's an illustration of the condition of my residence. Yellow is for uninhabited house, red is for inhabited house, purple is for business places such as course places and boarding houses, green is for free land, and green line is for free space. Generally, the free space can be parked for 4 to 5 cars. Let me explain and show you the data of every vehicle from each building. The quantity of vehicles. Here's the column for building, the column for the status of the building currently, and last is the column for how many vehicles they own. The data shows that in total there are 30 cars and 26 motorcycles. 50% of 30 cars are parked outside. There are 11 to a maximum 15 cars that are usually parked on the right side of the road. The data also shows there are 26 motorcycles in total. But of course, as I said, no bikes or motorcycles are allowed to park outside. My top solution is to make use of the free land. How? First, deliberate with the landlord to decide the agreement. Second, consult with the head intent of the resident and, of course, the landlord, well, since they are the owner, to create policies such as annual fee borne by the user and do not damage any property, etc. Third, clearance and improvement such as smarten the land, and then increase security by fixing the gate and applying a surveillance camera. And last is collect user data monthly by boarding houses and course places owners, of course. Meanwhile, this open space could accommodate 4 to 5 cars, which is a very great deal to reduce or lessen the numbers of cars that are typically parked on the border or the edge of the roadway. Not only cars, but motorcycles are also allowed to park here. How can this program offer benefits for everyone? First, expanded roadway. Second, neat parking system. Third, equity for all residents. And the last is profitable for the landlord. Moving on to security. Let me explain the current situation. Both main gate entrances are closed by 9 p.m. and open by 5 a.m. by the security guard. The only people who are permitted to own a spare or duplicate key are the long-term residents. Meanwhile, transient neighbors don't have spare key or duplicate key, which are difficult for themselves. These are the 3 boarding houses that are currently still operating. Now, this chart shows how many occupants every boarding house has. The first boarding house only has 1 occupant. The second has 3 occupants, and the third has 8 to 10 occupants. The solution is that boarding house owners allow boarding house occupants to duplicate the gate keys, but a duplicate key must be returned to the boarding house owner after not renting anymore. Or an alternative solution is to employ padlock numbers on one side of the gate. The benefit is that boarding house occupants could easily enter the residence anytime they want. And of course, to secure both residents and occupants. But what if someone leaks the padlock's password? Now, passwords can easily be changed, right? Residents' chiefs must understand all of the data collected and authorize all the certainty. To end my presentation, my statement is do not be selfish in order to provide a profitable residence. Thank you for listening my presentation. See you later.